Welcome to Rugby Uncovered. I'm Paul Rodriguez, and together with Tom Nash, we're speaking to Megan Jones from Wasps Ladies.
We were interested because we saw some Wasps games last season, but we were interested that you were one of 10 players, new players to join the squad in the summer. As far as we're concerned, Wasps are a better team now than they were. That's a lot of players to bring together and to gel.
Yeah, I think it was a kind of everyone just came at once. There's obviously 5 sevens girls, so we've got Amy, Wilson Hardy, me, Abby Burton, Celia Kwanzaa, and Ellie, who's now with the 15s, but she was also came from sevens. So 5 of those were sevens contenders. So it was. I think it was naturally going to make an impact anyway. Whether we made them better, I don't know, but I think it was just about. Giselle must have just signed all those 10 together, but getting us playing more regularly is you naturally gel anyway. And or with 5 of us already playing together, I don't think there was much gelling to be done there in that respect. But we've obviously made quite an impact. I mean, we're top 3 at the moment, I think. Definitely top 4. So yeah, looking to kind of end the season on a high. And we got Worcester this weekend, which would be another good contest as well.
You've been to international 7s and 15s tournaments. I'm interested in whether this is medium to long term, whether this is sustainable, being able to play the 2 different codes at elite level. I wondered what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I think this is one of the big debates is how can we get players playing both and without kind of burning them out or, almost spreading them too thin. At the moment, I think where it stands, I do think there's possibility to do both. All it takes is honest conversations and having to manage yourself properly, and that comes with the professionalism as well. So understanding your body, how that works, doing the correct stuff around that, nutrition, psychology, and I think as the game develops, there is possibility to do both. But obviously, you have the risk of spreading too thin. Risk of injury, obviously, if you're performing at a higher standard, but it's definitely possible. And you don't see it as much in the men's game, but you do see the flip. So you have either people starting off with 7s and heading over. I know Sonny Bill came back for the Olympics, some of the Welsh boys as well, and then they flipped back to 15s. So it is doable, but again, you just run the risk of almost burning out as well. At the moment, I think it's definitely possible. Going forward, with maybe the game growing so much, it might be another question around whether that's actually sustainable. It's a big debate, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, sure. You've played inside centre, outside centre. You're now fly half. Giselle presumably thinks that's your position. Any thoughts on that? I have to be careful what I say here, but is fly half your favourite position?
So I growing up, so I've been playing rugby since I was 6. I played scrum half up until the age of 13 with the boys, and then as soon as I moved to playing with the women, with the girls, under 15s, under 18s, so on, I was fly half. So I've always been in that sort of playmaker role. And obviously, you're alluding to the last World Cup. With the last World Cup, obviously we had quite an established playmaker role. So if you fly half and you're inside centres as well, but we didn't really have cover for that 13 role, nor did we have cover for fullback. So I kind of slotted in nicely there, covering Skaz and Danielle Waterman as well. So I don't know how to say it, but when sometimes I've been playing the game for so long, and I know I'm only 24, but because you know the game so well, and this would be the same for most players, they can play variable positions. Fly half is where I want to be, if not inside centre, which I think are quite transferable. But being quite a switched on rugby player, I think playing any position really is kind of favourable for me, and I think that's where I fitted nicely in that squad as well. But going forward, I think the fly half, the 10 and 12 shirt is where I'm aiming.
Is there more fluidity, do you think, between positions now than there was, say, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think definitely there's more responsibility on players. If you watch where the men's games go in particular, your fullbacks now are turning into fly halves, more decision makers. And then, I mean, if you can expand the game further, everyone has to be a leader in their own right and has to make decisions on the spot. So if we can, every position can have a decision maker in that role, although you do in a respective way. But in terms of game management, tactical play, you're not just relying on the 9 and 10, then you're head and shoulders above most teams.
Sure. We've been following the Premier 15s for a couple of seasons now. I wanted to know what you thought had changed since the whole league started. Huge improvements in terms of quality is what all we can say. But what are the major differences now compared with, say, 3 years ago?
I would just say first one is like the structure of it. It almost seems it's just more established, and it's not the fact that you're just rocking up and kind of turning up on a Sunday and going to these muddy pitches. Although hands up, Wasps is pretty muddy, but you kind of not going to the back pitches, and we're kind of being showcased a little bit more. So in that sense, that's what's changed. In terms of the physical side of things, it's just, it must have leaped about 200% in terms of physical attributes, athleticism of girls. And on top of that as well, like the depth of the squad. So you're getting players now, it's more competitive essentially because people are coming up and they're showing pure athleticism and rugby knowledge. And then it's kind of matching who you maybe would have said was the best player, a couple of years ago. But there's definitely more now 18, 19-year-olds that are pushing the boundaries a bit more and showing that women's rugby has got a lot more depth than it used to have.
With regards to rugby, there's obviously so many different aspects to it, from playing, managing, and all that sort of stuff. Have you ever thought about other aspects of it? I mean, of course, we want you to have a nice long career in rugby actually playing it, but have you ever thought of other aspects of rugby?
I think, yeah. Well, I've recently gone to coaching, so
you have, right?
Yeah, so I do a lot of coaching. I'm currently at Barnes. I do the women's team, and also I do a couple of the boys under 12s, etc. So kind of spread around that club. So
brilliant.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out there a bit more and definitely showcase that. I don't know if Giselle's obviously one of those pioneers, but showcase that females, women can also coach, and hopefully shows a bit more respect and showcasing again like that role model sort of ethos, and not just for girls but for boys as well. So yeah, coaching, definitely interested there, and I guess just kind of seeing where that goes with it. But yeah, I've no idea when or where, but I'd love to. I guess the dream would be kind of like director of sport or something.
Brilliant.
But you just never know. You never say never. But
you couldn't be working under a better person than Giselle to learn a few tricks of the trade, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what rugby gives as well, is that it's because it's such a close knit, a tight community. Everyone helps each other out, and when you meet someone and you in the rugby game, you kind of have a friend for life. And definitely meeting Giselle this season, I don't think it's going to be the last that I see of her. I'm sure she's going to help guide me in the right ways, not just on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well. So,
well, she's very well regarded for a good reason. She's a lovely person, and one of the best. And you obviously don't have very much time, what with playing, and now we've discovered coaching as well, which is amazing. But what do you do? What do you do to relax if you do get some time? What's your guilty pleasure?
Do you know, I just love sitting down, watching a nice series, and ordering some food in. Nando's tends to be the go-to.
Right.
And then we've recently, not sure I should confess this, but recently found a creams, which is essentially like crepes and cookie dough.
Oh my God!
Just indulging in the naughty stuff. So sitting down, ordering a nice meal in and a dessert, and then just kind of flicking through the Netflix and
Brilliant.
watching the series that we've got on.
Fantastic. So you're a series fan, of which I am myself. So I can understand that. Yeah, definitely. Great stuff.
Right,
And
good.
so, if anybody wants to find you on social media, are you on Twitter or Instagram, anywhere like that? They can follow your career.
Yes, Twitter. I'm Meg Jones Ltd. Meg Jones Limited. I think that's what it's meant to
Brilliant. That's a good name.
And then on Instagram, I'm Thanks Meg. Don't ask me. I've had it since I was about 12, but I just, I was like, everyone says Thanks Meg, so maybe I should just be Thanks Meg.
Superb. Well, we can remember that. No, it's a good one.
Yeah,
we can remember
exactly.
it. Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent
there
stuff.
you go.
Well, look, we know you've got to rush off to training, so thanks again for coming on the show, and all the best at this weekend. We'll definitely be watching the game, so good luck.
Thank you very much, guys.
And thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time.